My name's Chris.
And I'm Kristie.
This is the Washing Up Podcast.
Yes.
And what do we call this week?
Oh, I think this week is Matt Sinclair is just so fucking awesome because...
Matt Sinclair. Matt Sinclair presents.
Yeah.
It is Matt Sinclair presents...
Single-handedly won an immunity pin.
Masterchef, Australia, presented by Matt Sinclair. It has to be.
Yeah.
What a moment.
Masterchef.
Masterchef. I'm very happy, in fact, that Matt Sinclair won this pin. Because
It was good he had like a bit of a hand from Tessa, but, she did... What really did she do?
I mean, it's very important for me that Matt won the pin. Because, now he doesn't have to worry about Billy or Poe getting rid of him. He's got the pin, he can play it.
Exactly. He's like, no, I can't be eliminated. You girls just have to go.
So,
technically he has 2 immunity pins then, because 1, he's got the actual immunity pin. 2, he's got a penis.
That is a big immunity pin.
Big immunity pin.
That is a massive immunity pin. Well,
the one on his head.
Yeah.
Not so much
not
in
so
his
much
pants.
about that one. Anyway, if you can't guess, we kind of think that Matt was a bit of a dick the other night. So
Matt really is the high school jock that, had his glory days as the quarterback that's just come back to the school, because he's like, real life job is failing and like his wife hates him and his kids don't appreciate him. So he goes back to his old school to relive the glory days.
And his Cobram deal's not quite what it was, and he's advertising for Queenslanders about rhyming weird phrases.
It's from paddock to plate, wanker to wankstay. It's just...
It's from deck to douche. So the immunity challenge, we're going to lead off with the immunity challenge because, look, the second half of this episode, we get to talk about the wonder that is Australia's national treasure, Maggie Beer. And, God, as a couple of bake-off podcasters really at heart, warms the cockles, maybe the subcockle area.
Maybe
the liver, maybe the kidneys, maybe even the colon. We don't know. But... so we'll talk about Maggie Beer and the joy that is Maggie Beer and the wonder that is Maggie Beer in a minute, and the fact they tried to kill her. But until we get to that point in time, let's start with the immunity challenge. Now, the immunity challenge we had, it was really hard to remember what the hell they did, in all honesty. It's been a week.
It's been 3 days, and quite frankly, last night took my attention.
That took a lot of attention.
So there was a round 1.
The only thing we really need to care about, and
George wasn't there. Is that...
we're about to talk about that.
No, was George back?
No. So what happened was...
No, George was back, and there was Matt. Oh, I can't remember.
So
yes, George was back.
So what had happened was...
Back again.
The first thing we have to talk about, the most important thing we have to talk about...
Tell your friends. Guess he's back. Okay, keep going. Yeah.
Anyway,
what are we talking about?
The most important thing we have to talk about. Ben.
Yep.
Ben had another good cook.
He had a brilliant cook.
Ben very nearly got through to the immunity challenge.
Oh, he got so much airtime though.
Oh, look,
it was really a win for Ben because he got the airtime that he deserves, and now you'll never see him again. As we saw last night, where he just faded into the background. It's like, yeah, Matt, you do Italian, and then there was never heard from again.
Now they got up in the morning and they all had to go down to Coles, and they all had to buy an ingredient.
Right. Oh,
now as
it's all coming back to me now.
As Erin Marie on Twitter said, she was very glad they remembered their Enviro bags before they each had a separate car bring them to the set, just for that environmental feel.
And I just loved how. Tessa Kenny's choice was to grab a paper bag to pop the snow peas or the sugar peas in.
Yeah, well, I mean,
good on her.
They keep trying to make peas happen. I mean, there was a bag of frozen peas involved. There was why, we've talked about this a few times, why are we trying to make peas happen?
Look, it's just trolling us. We've become F-lift celebrities. They're like, this... It's going to get back at those commentating ass hats on
F-list rowboat
on the Washing Up podcast. Take that, you and your 150 listeners.
Zing! We do far better than 150 listeners. So
152 listeners. And we love and appreciate each and every one of you.
Okay,
each night I go to bed saying a prayer for you, hoping for your health and goodness, and that you'll also help us kill peas.
That is kind of what she prays for.
The extinction. We make so many other things extinct.
Now he got really, 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 really close. And a large reason that Ben got really close was that he was Stephen Bradburying it. Everyone else was kind of falling in front of him. Abby had the first of 3 very bad nights.
Yes. And it was a really interesting choice that he went, you know what? I may have brought back this steak from Woolworths, and I'm surprised he didn't depackage it and put it in a paper bag, to be quite honest. What was it, a rump, a blade? I think it was a blade, something without a lot of fat. But I'm going to use this nice, big, thick cut, juicy steak to actually serve. And I'm
going to use the other steak. I'm going to use this one.
As flavouring for peas.
And I'm going to use it as flavouring. And then Gary was yelling at him about, no, you can't do that. That's not going to work. And it worked. And they had to do that. I'll tell you what. This actually went okay.
But do you think overall, like, if you're going to flavour peas, I mean, here I am talking about fucking flavouring peas, wouldn't it just be easier to whack some mint sauce on, like, some normal people?
I wouldn't bother.
Like, that's wastage. You're using a whole fucking steak to flavour 4 or 5 peas.
So if I was forced to flavour peas, if I was forced, okay?
Garbage?
Here's...
I went straight to... You'd open up the garbage and just dunk it in the receptacle.
You rush to the punchline. So
I'm in your head, Buchanan.
So I'd put them in there, and I'd put them inside a steamer, and I'd put them on top, and I'd steam them nicely, and make sure they were nice and green. Then I'd take them off the water, and I'd get it, and I'd drain them all out, and then I'd tip them straight in the bin, and then it was the end of it.
Delicious.
Wonderful, wonderful peas. If you can find them, maybe you can try them. But Abby was christened. Mm-hmm. So
she's apparently... Okay, so Tuesday night, she received the title of Flavour Queen.
Now, of course, unseating the Flavour King, who is Aram,
yes,
and had that title had never been removed from Aram, he was granted the Flavour King. We did an entire podcast about the fact he was the Flavour King.
Yeah.
And at no point, I don't remember the ceremony to remove it. I don't remember. I actually had to check on social media.
Make sure he wasn't dead.
I needed to make sure Aram's alive because, usually, unless he abdicates, there's only one way they're taking the kingdom off him.
Maybe just, Abby's boyfriend's away at sea for 9 months. Maybe she went, okay, I'll accept being his like regency, like his wife. But, there's a love match and then there's the business match, which is what the royals do. So I presume it was just a match. Like,
if I'm Aram, I'm not sharing.
Like, who do you think out of Gary, Matt and George is the matchmaker, like the royal matchmaker?
That's got to be Matt Preston.
Yeah, because I don't see George giving
George
a shit.
doesn't understand love.
Unless it's for his tweezers.
George does not get your human emotions. And Gary only has eyes for pork crackling, so
true. Yeah,
it's got to be Preston and those wonderful stripy pants.
Yeah.
So
maybe he brings in a yental, like a yenta, one of the two.
A yental would be he brings in Barbara Streisand.
Okay, he brings in Australia's Barbara Streisand, who's Maggie Beer.
Mitch. Yes. So Ben gets really close, but then Tessa, next leveled it. And I thought Ben was very unlucky, but at the end of the day, look, it was really close.
It was.
I love Tessa, but I feel bad. I feel really...
Look, Ben is the hero we all wanted that night.
Yeah, so Tessa goes through as they all got to the Please Pretend to Know, and it's so much of a Please Pretend to Know that I didn't even bother to remember his name.
Yep, blonde dude from Bondi.
Sure.
North Bondi.
Bondi.
You've got to get it right, otherwise you're at the pooey end of the shore.
You don't want to be down in the murk.
You
don't want to be near the murk.
I did nippers at Bondi, right? And there was a big rivalry between Bondi and North Bondi. Now, true, I only did nippers for like 1 or 2 seasons. And the highlight for me were their hot dogs. I've never been able to find hot dogs that good again. I think it might have been a combination of being up early on a Sunday morning.
And quality pork snout.
Exactly. Plus, they had the little machine, right, that heated up the hot dogs in one end and then you poked the hot dog bread on the other to make the hole.
Oh, the heat and poke.
Yeah, the heat and poke, right. And it had seeds on the bread, which is always a must. And it was perfect. So
I'm a bit of a bandit for a Costco hot dog, I've got to say.
Yeah?
I'm a bit of a bandit for a Costco hot dog.
I want to try an IKEA hot dog. I've heard they're good.
You've got to assemble it yourself.
Is that... does it just come with lingonberries?
You get an Allen key.
Where do I put the casing? It doesn't fit over the sausage.
Why do I have leftover pieces?
I'll have to call our friend Joe to come and assemble it for us.
In fact, how do I have leftover pieces? It's a hot dog. There's 2 pieces. What's
three
going
nuts. It's just 3 random.
Why do I have a
metal
washer?
nuts.
That makes no sense. Anyway.
Okay, where were we?
I don't know.
Bondi guy.
He was heroing onion. Now, he said,
Some say hero.
unprompted.
Others.
Unprompted. He said, I need to hero the onion. And I'm like, dude, have you been Masterchef?
Yeah.
Like, have they sat you down and taught you how to do this?
These are our approved sayings for the week. Beautiful, heroing, and beautiful.
All right, so beautiful. We need to. We need to. I'll do it now because, later on.
Talk about insipid French onion soup?
No, I don't want to talk about insipid French onion soup because,
Okay.
well, we are going to mention that in a minute because I've got a bone to pick with the judges. But my comment on the beautiful thing, because, I don't want to do it later on when we're talking about the end of Abby. I want to talk about it now when it's still fresh in our minds. We said it the other night with Robert, and it bears repeating. The producers have a responsibility to make sure that the people on the show don't sound stupid. Now,
just help them broaden their, what's that thing called? I can't
vocabulary.
Vocabulary.
Ironically enough,
Just-
you forgot the word vocabulary. Anyway,
Look, we all know I struggle with words, and tonight is big struggle. So enjoy me just going, into Jeopardy mode.
My point on stupidity,
Yes.
though, is it's not, again, it's not a making fun of. The other night, and we talked about this the other night with Robert again, Abby, in introducing one dish, used the word beautiful 6 times in a sentence. It was the beautiful this, the beautiful that, and I'm going to serve it with these beautiful over here, and it'll be a beautiful this and a beautiful with a beautiful.
think she's
It was ridiculous, and somebody should have just said to her, stop, let's do that one again. Abby, you're using the word beautiful a lot.
You know what I'd like to see? Her mashed into the Marilyn Manson song, The Beautiful Produce, The Beautiful Produce.
The beautiful produce. There's a whole album out of this. James Blunt. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful local produce. There is an entire album that you could do just dedicated to Abby and the word beautiful. And by the way, the others have started picking it up. Tati tonight used the word beautiful consistently.
Oh, but I've got a theory about that.
Anushka used it the other night non-stop. They're all using the word beautiful. I wonder if there's a game going on.
Just how many times I can say beautiful.
There's a challenge. How many times can you work the word beautiful in?
And then at the grand final, they're all, there's been a pot of money. They're all someone sitting there, the official tally person. Who do you reckon the official... Christina. She'd be their tallier because she's responsible.
But the other thing is with that is it's a little bit like when the Lonely Island were going around promoting pop star Never Stop, Never Stopping, where in every interview they worked in, it's just like Jimmy Fallon always says, into every interview they did, and then they come up with a random quote they would attribute to Jimmy Fallon. So they were like, it's just like Jimmy Fallon says, random thing. I wonder if beautiful is their version of it's just like Jimmy Fallon says. It's got to be. It's the only thing I can think of. It's the only reason why. Otherwise, it's just production getting it wrong.
Another song, Christina Aguilera. I keep going to sing it.
You are beautiful. You are beautiful. No matter where the produce is from, the locals can't bring me down. So anyway,
I just laughed like a dolphin.
So anyway, it was very dolphin-like.
Careful, Maddie D will come.
Are we in
for me.
Podworks? We're not in Podworks, are we? No, we can't be in here with dolphins. Anyway, that was a crossover moment. So
cross-pollination.
No, not the bees. Not the bees. Anyway,
check out Sizzletown.
So
award-winning podcast if you want quality over this.
Matt Sinclair.
Yes.
In the challenge is helping Tessa, and I use the word helping quite incorrectly. He ducks down next to her at one point near the oven. It was one of the creepiest things I've ever seen. He was like lurching and like lurking and lurching and like really just, it was ridiculous what he was doing.
Every cake you bake.
And at that point, that was when we tweeted out the punch Matt win immunity.
Like he was just so, it's like, I used to stare at ovens like this, just like this. Hey, Tessa, watch me stare at an oven. It's fantastic. And I was I got to the grand final of Masterchef and you know what happened? Yes, Matt, you were robbed. That's right, I was robbed. Elena didn't beat me fair and square, but I like looking at ovens and I like looking at you. What are you doing, Tessa? Oh, what are we doing, Tessa? I'm making it, Tessa. I'm going to win this immunity challenge, Tessa. It's all me. It's me, Tessa. Oh my God, I just got into Matt's head. It's
You
very scary.
you channeled it. Are you okay?
Oh no, I feel like I've been possessed by some dirty demon.
Is it Azrael?
No, it's
Aziraphale?
It's Matt Sinclair.
Was it Aziraphale?
It was
Aziraphale. It wasn't Aziraphale. Anyway, so what was a problem was at one point the MasterChef account tweeted out the thing of Matt Sinclair being ridiculously hyperactive and over the top and talking about when the mentor becomes the contestant again. Guys, this is not good.
No.
All right? The audience hates it.
This is the
And
problem.
pay attention to your audience. He's not very popular.
So, Matt, yeah, you know, we have to put up with him in fucking Cobra ads, in fucking Queensland ads, and, you know, once every 3 weeks.
They even crash
unless
him-
they fucking spring him on us in Queensland.
They even crash him in on Billy's Week.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care if he's a bloody tourism Queensland ambassador. It was Billy's Week. She got one night, and then they bring in bloody Sinclair.
Uh-huh.
Keep him out of it when it's not his turn. Meanwhile, give us more Poe.
More
and
Poe?
look, controversially, because I know there's a bunch of you out there that don't like her, give us more Billy. In the right context.
Like on a farm, like she was. That was great.
She was quite happy with that.
Billy on a farm.
So we then got the judging. Now, I can't even remember what Tessa made. That's right, it was a Milfoy.
Milfoy, yeah.
So it was Milfoy and...
Well done. I think she executed
She
that.
did that very
sorry.
well.
Matt, you did that beautifully.
Yeah,
Just
well done,
beautiful
Matt,
work,
well done, Matt.
Sinclair.
Great work, Sinclair. The judges complained that there wasn't a depth of flavour in the French onion soup. And like, it doesn't taste like it's been prepared for hours. I'm like, because it hasn't been, you morons.
45 minutes at maximum.
Like, seriously, it doesn't taste like he spent forever preparing it. Well, he didn't spend forever preparing
And
it.
quite frankly, that was like, okay, kudos to Tessa for choosing strategically and beautifully because, you know, salt and vinegar is going to go on fish, but cheese and onion, not so much. I was disappointed they didn't have a barbecue option. Anyway.
That would have been made sense.
All light and tangy.
Can anyone explain to me light and tangy as a flavour?
It's both tangy, it's got a tang to it, and it's light.
Can you explain the flavour?
They were my choice of chips between year 9 and year 11.
And every now and then when I go to the shops.
Yeah, and like just you know, my like 15-year-old self just pops out and goes, Chris, can you get me some light and tangy?
The really funny part about that, by the way, is when you put them through the checkout, if you actually go to a real person, they look at you really weird.
Like, these have been sitting on the shelf for the past 10 years.
Yeah, 1998 is the use by date on these. What are you doing? They're 20 years old, dude.
And so's my wife.
Anyway, so...
Mentally. She's living 20 years ago. Oh, God.
You're going well. So, at this point,
this.
let's get to Hanging Rock, shall we? Kristie!
Yeah.
Kristie! But after a Nescafe, we found Miranda. It's all over. Okay, so a couple of controversial statements. One, the most overhyped piece of garbage movie ever, Picnic at Hanging Rock.
Yes.
Change my mind. Secondly, and far more importantly, I don't think Picnic at Hanging Rock. I think the fucking Nescafe commercials, and I wonder if that couple ever got together and got married. Because over at Nescafe, apparently they blended over Blend 43. That is the most disappointing relationship I've ever heard of in my life. There's so many better coffees.
I mean, you and I met at a cafe over coffee, but it was,
43 goes, and that's the one Nescafe went, we're sweet.
you know why? Because the taster got jack shit of having to taste the
What
mud.
was number 27?
Like,
Pure char.
someone's shit
I
reconstituted.
was about to say, 40, blend number 40, they're like, it's almost there, it's slightly lighter fluid.
I'll just take a little bit of poop out of it.
Like, I'm sorry, but look, you know, I love you dearly, but if you'd offered me a cup of Nescafe, we were never meant to be.
What kind of monster do you take me for?
That's what I'm saying. If you had offered me a cup of Nescafe,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have happened.
Look, if push came to shove, and I had to pick an instant coffee, and that's all I had access to, and it was like the only thing. And we're like in a bomb shelter or something. It's nuclear winter outside, and I wanted to romance you. it would at the very least be Moccona.
Really?
Yes.
Shropshire? How wonderful. I actually had I got a Christmas present last year from somebody who knows full well my hatred of Blend 43 and the fact that 43 goes and that's the one they settled on. And so they filled a jar with a Nescafe Blend 43 jar with Moccona and gave it to me as, here's some coffee. And I said, I don't drink either of those. And they go, yeah, but you're more likely to drink that one than the jar. We just thought we wanted to see a reaction when we gave you Blend 43. Anyway, so...
Back at the ranch.
And look, we're distracting from the really important news here, which is that, first of all, there was no Sandeep.
No.
Sandeep hurt his back.
What do you reckon he was doing?
No, well, I noticed actually.
Yeah.
Before we get to what Sandeep was actually doing on the day, because I'm assuming he was lost around Hanging Rock.
Sandeep!
George Zamfir was out there with the panpipes just looking for him. But is it worrying that I know that is George Zamfir's panpipes? Anyway, so...
I like to think it's actually Sandeep's favourite show, right? And he's just gone to everyone and goes...
He's got a white gown.
I can't do this yet.
A hat.
His own little picnic.
Having a picnic.
Yeah.
Sandeep's done himself a picnic. So
we can take off our gloves. Oh, how very fucking...
Oh, dear. So...
Crazy.
I noticed when everyone ran in to hug Tessa, I actually noticed the other night that Sandeep stood at the back and didn't really go in with the rest of them. He was standing very upright and he didn't go in. I'm like, at the time I looked at it and went, that's a bit weird. Okay, fine. Obviously now we know Sandeep had hurt his back. And like the reason he didn't go in for the big powerful group hug with everyone else was he could barely walk.
I reckon it's because, right, he went to Dracula's and on the ghost train, he just got a bit scared and like just jerked the wrong way and hurt his back.
No, don't do that.
Oh, Sandeep, that's sad.
Poor Sandeep.
I hope you got a few good fishbowl cocktails later.
Now that means that Sandeep goes directly into elimination, which is fair. That's perfectly fair.
Yep.
Now, again, we're also distracting from the other big bit of information here. So it's Maggie Beer, and they announce Maggie Beer, and she walks out of the toilet block. Why?
Masterchef keeping it classy.
I just wanted to hear a flush.
Oh, sorry. Nature calls.
When nature calls, you've got to accept the charges.
Look, to be honest, like, Maggie Beer is just so beautiful. I cannot picture her doing anything human.
If you have come to this podcast tonight wanting to hear us badmouth, besmirch, mock, make fun of National Treasure Maggie Beer, you turn off right now and go and listen to one of those other MasterChef podcasts that have 0 listeners. So go do it. They might need somebody. In all honesty, National Treasure Maggie Beer
walks from the toilet block.
Is an absolute joy.
Oh.
She is a delight. As I tweeted out last night, you haven't lived until you've seen National Treasure Maggie Beer getting on a carousel. I have lived.
Yes, as have I.
As have you, and it was a wonderful experience.
It's like in my dark times when I just feel that there's no hope in the world, I just conjure that memory of Maggie on a carousel.
Oh,
and
God, it was fun.
It's like there is always joy. There is always Maggie.
Now we need to let the rest of the audience, however, know that this is a very special trip for Maggie.
Yeah.
Because, of course, we're getting to that point of the year where it's harvest time in the verjuice fields.
Ah, yes. So for those who haven't joined us on our bake-off adventures, you might not be aware of Stately Beer Manor.
Yes, you may not be aware of the existence of Stately Beer Manor.
Which stands on, is it Verjuice Mountain?
It's
amongst the Verjuice Fields.
The Verjuice Fields, yes.
It's
Figgy Mountain.
Figgy Mountain. Oh my God, how could I forget that?
We haven't been there for a while.
We haven't been there for a while. And
Hashtag BakeOffAU.
Yeah, Figgy Mountain, and she's just like amongst these acres and acres and acres, as far as the eye can see, of verjuice fields with the Verjuice River just flowing down the middle.
It flows beautifully.
Yeah.
But Maggie is. Look, I'm pleased that in the middle of verjuice harvest season.
Yeah.
She got in the Maggie copter.
Yep.
And was able to fly over and do this appearance.
And it was actually her and not her stand-in.
Again, her stand-in, who of course Michelle,
Michelle.
who's currently overseas and travelling in the northern hemisphere and like going up. She's up at the North Pole at the moment.
Oh, just visiting Santa on Maggie's behalf.
Exactly. Well, Maggie can't be there, so
No,
you have to send for
two of the most magical, wonderful people in the world.
Exactly, Santa and Maggie Beer. Have you ever seen them in the same place? I think not. Anyway, so basically all I kept on taking from this was that Maggie Beer is the nicest person on the planet, and she really is.
I mean, apart from her butter hoarding tendencies,
well, look, we don't talk about the butter hoard
and her dragon hoard of butter.
The dragon hoard of butter is a very special thing, but we don't talk about that, especially not here. # you ought to be congratulated. So Maggie walks out and they announce that they're going to do a picnic at Hanging Rock. That must have taken minutes to come up with.
I would have much preferred this to have been the elimination night, and then the person who's eliminated is just missing. Could you imagine that?
I would have been happy with that. That would have been cool. So we had so that the two teams, they had two different teams going on. So you had the red team, which was Anushka, Tati, Simon, Christina, Larissa, and Abby. Mm-hmm. And you had the green team. No. Not that green. Another green.
It's more of a foresty, like a deep kind of forest.
It was to blend in with Hanging Rock's surroundings.
It really was. It was more of not quite a Sherwood green, because it's not the old-fashioned Robin Hood green. Lincoln green, there we go.
So you had green team was Derek, Steph, Nicole, Tessa, Tim, and Ben.
They were... Oh,
now, we have to talk about the captaincy. So... Derek becomes captain of the green team.
He was the reluctant hero.
He really was. Look. We've made fun of good old Zoolander a lot.
Yeah,
not going to lie. He was really good in this challenge.
He was bloody good. A lot of respect for the Big D.
I have no doubt that Derek will love you calling him the Big D. Derek, if you're listening,
enjoy the Big D.
Congratulate Kristie. You need to thank Kristie for the Big D. There you go.
I gave you the Big D, Derek.
Big D energy. Big D energy.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, so there's a podcast title. So
but
the Big D energy actually helped them because he organised. The other day, remember in that challenge the other day where they were talking about like the managing at the pass and people getting distracted with their dishes. Derek seemed to have learned and went, everyone can work their own dish in their own strength, and my job is to float around, do whatever's needed to be done, and make sure the dishes get out.
He created and held space for them and jumped in and assisted. Like he was there helping Nicole with the quiche when she needed, like the pastry when she needed it, and then you saw him over making sure that the pass is set up. Like it was truly phenomenal to behold. So well done, Big D.
It was very well done, Big D. Congratulations.
Yes.
So we had Derek on one hand, and they went team captains go, and they all pushed Derek. Mm-hmm. And you saw him; he was like, "No, I don't really want to do this." And that's where he said afterwards, he goes, didn't really want to do it, but I'm excited now."
It was a pure hero's journey, like the reluctant...
in the 30 milliseconds it took. There was a hero's journey that took place from
it was Harry Potter first year to year 8.
Really fast.
Really quick. Year 7.
So the red team picked Anushka.
Yep.
It was an interesting
dynamic that happened there.
Yeah,
so when we saw the first shots, like Anushka, Abby, everyone seemed
everyone was
happy.
Something changed over the course of this challenge. Now, there's a couple of theories we have.
Yep.
Later on in this part of the episode, the judges came over and were talking to Anushka.
Yep.
And one of them referred to Anushka as the flavour queen.
No, Tati. They referred to Tati as the flavour queen.
Tati the flavour queen.
Yep.
And that's right, Anushka went along with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Anushka labelled Tati the flavour queen.
Oh, that's right, they went along with it. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Okay. And it's like...
And directly in the background of shot was Abby. Who has the night before been christened and crowned and coronated the new flavour queen.
So overnight, there's been an overthrow in the Masterchef, like, royal family.
And we talked about how they give out titles in the Masterchef house the other day. We talked about this. There's a full part of the podcast on it. Go listen to it. It's all there.
Yeah, so Flavour Queen Abby is deposed in some kind of coup.
She wasn't aware.
No.
Like, the first she finds out about it is when everyone is discussing that Tati's...
Like, even the Zars saw it coming.
To be fair, Tati looked thoroughly confused going, what do you mean I'm a Flavour Queen? She's the Flavour Queen. All hail the Queen. It was kind of an all hail the beef scenario, really, wasn't it? All hail the beef. All hail the beef.
Yeah. It really is, like...
Tati was confused. Abby was clearly confused.
Yeah.
And look,
it's like the death of King Henry VIII, right?
It's exactly the same.
And it's just like
what I was thinking.
Like, just a bunch of young women coming along and just vying for power. So here's Anushka ripping the title from Abby, and like, is she the Wolsey? No, who was the
Who's the Mary Queen of Scots in this?
Is that Tati? Is Tati? Yeah, but no.
No, it's Abby. Abby's Mary Queen of Scots because Abby got eliminated.
Yes.
Abby's Mary Queen of Scots.
Yep,
we've got to the back of this now.
Yeah.
Tati, who is the now existing and reigning Flavour Queen because she's the one left.
Queen Elizabeth. She brings us to a golden age.
You know, and again, I believe the last words
poisoning her enemies.
I believe the last words
chili.
The last words that we heard from the old king, Aram, was "Watch that one. She's got greatness in it." Anyway, so moving on. History Nerds Unite. So the red team decided they were going to make hummus, which you'll hear that one again in a minute. Mm-hmm. With lavash, then they were doing a beef pickle and mustard sandwich.
Nice.
They'd had to do a frittata.
Yeah.
It's frittata.
Frittata.
It's not a quiche. It's
frittata. Go back several hundred podcasts. And
there's
an anecdote. If you want to know, tweet me at Muse Madam K.
The sweet was a carrot cake.
Mm-hmm. Nicely done, Christina.
And then Anushka decided she was going to make a walnut and fig salad.
Yes.
Leaning a little bit into the Maggie Beer skid there with the figs especially.
Nice work.
Now, the green team. The green team had my favourite thing to make. Not because I like eating it necessarily, but God, did I get to quote Fawlty Towers on that.
Go for it.
Chicken Waldorf salad sandwiches. And then Tim's listing his ingredients and he's like, we've got the chicken and we've got the breads and we've got this and we've got the mayonnaise and we've got that. And I went, unfortunately, he's fresh out of Waldorf's. Any time you get Waldorf salad mentioned, I'm sorry, I'm afraid we're fresh out of Waldorf's. So I still can't believe that show only managed to do 2 series and then they just cancelled. I can't believe that. Anyway.
I see you that and raise your serenity. Anyway.
True. They did a caprese. They did a hummus again.
Yep.
With a flatbread. Mm-hmm. There was a quiche or a quickie, I believe, as some people pronounce it. Then there was a brownie. Mm-hmm. And they went with mascarpone cheese because Maggie Beer will like some mascarpone cheese.
Smart work.
So
I have to comment on the green team.
Do it.
They really seemed cohesive and like they thrived under Derek. So you had all these people like in their prime were coming up to the top 12. So this is when you start to see people become elevated. It's like they've gone into the lift.
That word is coming out a lot now.
Elevate is the word. Come on. Anyway, mashing things up here. So it was just, and you could see it in how they were responding to each other and how they went off and did their things and like, just, you know, even when like Nicole had a bit of a disaster with a dropped quiche.
She dropped one. They had enough of them left. And the other one was, the disaster was the pastry was shrinking. I'm like, you're making quiches. Of course the fucking pastry's shrinking. Mm-hmm. Like, it does that. It will do that. So
a bit of shrinkage. No shrinkage around the Big D, though.
No, but the Big D knew how to handle it. Big D energy. So, so the red team.
Yep.
Look, there's only one dish we can really mention. Yep. The hummus. So, Abby was on hummus.
It's more like a hum-I. You know, there was no us in that hummus.
It took an hour and a half. It took an hour and a half to make a hummus. And interestingly enough, Abby was being let down by appliances. And,
you know, she probably went, you know, I don't need to put all these appliances around me. I'll just stick to the one. Bad time to
Now we know why she put so many out, because if one fails, there's another one.
She's got one ready to go, saving
ready
herself
to
5
run.
seconds.
And it took her a while to work out that just put her in a food processor and that'll work. She was trying a million other ways, and then suddenly someone's like, just put her in the food processor, and she did, and it worked, and it was like, great.
And this is the point where you noticed that the tension in the red
It got really bad.
team was just, we have a theory of what went on. We're going to spill our own tea of what we think went on, but
We've got our own,
just doesn't seem. Sorry, that was just our black cat being our black cat. Oh, here comes the little Somni cat. She's going to go too. Sorry, you've heard.
This is great podcasting.
Great podcasting. Anyway. So should we spill our own tea now? Okay, let's do this. And you're being Anushka?
I will be Anushka.
Okay, for the purposes of this re-dramatisation, purely fictional, but possibly real, we don't know.
We don't know.
We leave it to you, the viewer, to decide.
Okay.
The listener, dear listeners. Oh my God! Here we are, Anushka, in the Masterchef, in the picnic at Hanging Rock place, and although it's beautiful, Anushka, and look at these beautiful produce and these beautiful people and all these beautiful people.
Abby?
Yes?
Abby. Enough, you need to get back to the hummus.
But it's just so beautiful, Anushka, and
Abby.
Yes?
Abby, I don't want to interrupt you, but can you just tone down the word? Just get back to it.
Okay. Oh, look at these chickpeas. They're so beautiful. I'm going to put them in the beautiful blender.
Stop saying fucking beautiful!
What? But
Use other words! But there's many delightful, joyous, outstanding, marvelous, fantastic, fantabulous, iridescent, immaculate. There's so many words! Stop saying beautiful!
But
no more! And scene.
Yeah.
Apologies, Anushka, that's the best I can do.
Yeah, sorry.
Anyway,
I think it was well done for like a straight white male. Just,
Look, I had to mansplain it. And
thank you for mansplaining, Anushka. Sorry, Anushka.
so thank you, Anushka. But no, look.
We know there is definitely more going on there, and we don't want to speculate because we weren't there, we don't know.
To be honest with you, I just kind of think that it was an outside challenge, and they always get really annoying and irritating.
But the first one was so good.
And by the time we got towards the end of it, everyone was fucking angry.
It's like Simon, Mr. Nice Guy.
So I missed the Gary bit.
Oh, that was
I missed
pretty
the Gary
shit.
bit, right?
Yeah.
So I'll talk about the Simon bit. You can talk about the Gary bit because I missed it. I was in some conversations which we can't talk about.
Yeah.
But I was in some conversations not relating to MasterChef before and goes, speculation. No, there were other conversations I was in. So they're at the point where they're trying to get ready to start putting everything in the baskets. And they've got to leave half an hour to do that, realistically.
Absolutely.
So they're setting up to do that. And Anushka's trying to work out and can't find... Simon's got the bread stacked in a really weird place. And it's like, it's ridiculously high, but it's like hidden. You couldn't have seen it. And Anushka's like, hey, Simon, where's the bread? And Simon snaps and turns around and screams at her that it's in the open your eyes section. Now...
We don't know where that came from.
I don't know if there'd been other tensions during the day. Whatever it was...
That was a really dickish thing.
It was a dick move. And Simon should not... Like, I get that stress weighs down, and I get that it looked like it had been a really tense situation.
And there's obviously much context there.
Abby was struggling with things and seemed to be not responding well to what Anushka said.
And
then
Christina,
Christina came in and tried to help out.
Yeah.
And that didn't go very well.
And Anushka seemed very focused on her salad.
Yeah.
Very focused.
She wasn't leading. Like, again, I put out, the tweet last night I put out, 3 things can be true at the same time. Mm-hmm. First of all, Abby fucked up.
Yeah.
Second of all, I feel really sorry for Abby in the pressure situation that she's in. Third of all, Anushka did a really bad job of leadership.
Yeah, there was none, basically.
And left Abby to sort of flounder. When they came back, and when they told them off and said, an hour and a half for hummus, you've got to be kidding me. Like, they weren't wrong. And, like, Maggie Beer was visibly pissed off.
Yeah,
and it takes a lot to upset National Treasure Maggie Beer.
And it just seems to... I don't know what happened to piss Maggie off, but something was not right.
So Simon screams, it's in the open your eyes section.
And then, he's just flopped out a big dick move, but Gary's like, hold my fucking beer, and basically said, yep, that's what I like to see. Like just affirming.
Yeah, so Gary's like, there we go, there's some leadership, there's some strength, yeah, get in there, yeah, do
That's
it.
what a real captain should be.
Blokes. It was just, I mean...
Like, I think who should have been commended was Christina, who basically went, okay, I'll just stop doing what I'm doing at the moment. I can see one of my teammates are in trouble. And went over and assisted Abby.
Well, she offered Abby some help, and Abby sort of just fobbed her off when she said about, why don't you do this will then smooth. She goes, no.
Yeah, that's true.
So there was a big problem with regards to getting all of that sort of stuff done. That was the big drama. The rest of it was like, again, they had the drop quiche on the other side.
I mean, ultimately, these two teams were like, when you see those cartoons and they're coming down on a raft in a fast-moving river, and there's a fork in the river, and one is like all happy rainbows and unicorns, and the other side's like jagged rocks and fucking, spiky shit coming out. It's like red team, spiky shit and lightning and crashing, and then you got the green team with unicorns and rainbows and
again, Derek did a really
Steph making stuff.
Derek did a great job of leading it. Steph made some really everyone.
Her flatbreads were amazing.
Everyone made their dish, and everyone made their dish really well. And
Tim found they had Waldorfs.
They found some Waldorfs. That was great. That was amazing.
And in that context, I really enjoyed Tim.
It was. Okay, so one of the things, and I've mentioned this before on the Locals episode, I mentioned it, but it bears repeating, and it really came out tonight. Is there an individual on Earth that nods more than Tim? Every time they show him, he's fucking nodding.
You know why? I reckon he's trying to make some merch, and he's going to release the T-Bone bobblehead.
Have you seen that Basement Jaxx video clip? I think it's the song.
Where's your head at?
No, there's something about. There's something about the rhythm, and they cut, and everybody is nodding in the clip, and they can't stop. It's Tim. I want somebody to find that clip, and I want you to get Tim's head and superimpose it, and I want Tim nodding to the tune of that song. Go, Josh.
And that will be his advertising campaign for his T-Bone bobbleheads.
100%. So,
yeah,
Ben was apparently on a team.
So the shot we saw of Ben at first is when they were all planning everything out, and they're like, "Oh, we can do something Italian. Ben, you're great with Italian flavors." And they all like went, "Yay!" It was really like the green team really seemed like that. When you see those kids shows where all the kids are working on a science project together, and I can do this, and this is my strength. It was really lovely.
But then we didn't see him apart from he opened a fridge door, and then I posited that he'd taken Sandeep for a drive down to Chemist Warehouse.
To get some pain away
and get some pain-killing tablets. And like, what a good friend Ben is. To go, look, you don't need me, clearly. I'll just take him,
He just went back into ninja
He just
mode.
made a phone call and said, "Hey, Joe, I know you're not on the show anymore, but I know that you've got a nonna that you've borrowed. Can you come in and do the Italian while I take Sandeep down the road to Chemist Warehouse? He really wants me to go with him. He's a bit scared."
He pulled a Miranda.
Oh, he pulled a Miranda. So there was no real drama to the decision. Again, the green team survived. Mm-hmm. That shade of green is a good shade. The red team into elimination.
Yeah.
Which brings us to tonight.
Tonight. It's going to be in the garden tonight. What was
now,
the day? Because
the
sun was out.
So Maggie Beer was back for round 2.
Yeah.
And rather than necessarily go blow for blow through the first part of this challenge, which was all about herbs. Anyway.
And Maggie saying she loves the sound of the herbs.
Who doesn't, Maggie? So, I mean, Dave Dobbin loved it, but anyway. So, look, I'm not going to go blow for blow through this challenge. I'm simply
highlights Tarty in the lemongrass.
I'm simply going to say
Tarty in the banana leaves.
Yeah, how is she going to cope when she stripped the tree completely?
She comes
There's
back.
nothing left.
No.
All right.
Okay.
I'm taking deep breaths because I don't.
Okay.
Okay, so what happened was they were getting some herbs and they were getting some spices ready, and
spices.
even though they were getting some spices, they were getting some spice to go with the herbs.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And so what happened was they get into the garden.
Oh, yep. Okay, here we are.
And as they get into the garden, Steph goes, "Hey, Tati, why don't you get some more chilies and you can give them to George? And everyone at home went, fucking national treasure Maggie Beer is there.
I'm like,
how fucking dare you?
Like,
then, Steph, by the way, denies that she wanted to feed our Maggie. She didn't want to feed our Maggie chilies. She said, no, George, unfortunately, they're all tasting the same fucking dish.
Look, I love you, Steph, and you're trying to cover, but quite frankly, we joke about a lot of things on this podcast.
Everything is fair game.
Except...
not Maggie Beer.
You just back the fuck up, all right? Those
Matt
Virgins
Moran will be around.
Sacred land.
Matt Moran will be around to your house.
It'll be special lamb.
Mel and Claire. Mel Buttle, Claire Hooper, with their giant fucking spoons. They're going to come to your house and they're going to serve you a jumbo trifle.
Yep.
And then...
they're going to serve you some fucking tea.
Exactly.
They're going to teach you a lesson in a really polite and friendly and happy manner, surrounded by pastels.
It'll be wonderful. And there'll be bunting.
Lots and lots of fucking bunting. So much bunting that you'll be feeling happy.
It will be a joyous occasion.
Don't
you forget it. Anyway, so I love the Bake Off audience so much because the Bake Off audience rallied and there were two camps. Yes. There were the Masterchef people who only watch Masterchef.
Who's going, she's a lightweight, she's a chili lightweight.
And then there was the big group of us who were all Bake Off people as well going, how fucking dare you step back from the queen.
Look, at one point I was the snivelling wreck doing the leave Maggie alone.
I was angry. I was ready to go. I was ready to go kill.
I mean, what the fuck has Maggie done to you, Tati? You go, she's an idol of mine. All she's done is been there, caring, generous, lovely, gracious. And you're like, I'm just going to put some chili in it. Oh, not just a little bit of chili. Let's put some fucking big red ones in there. Woo!
Don't ever try to kill National Treasure Maggie Beer. So, Simon made...
you two will be drinking tea.
So Simon made pan-fried prawns and they were wonderful. Mm-hmm. Anushka. Now, Anushka...
I'm surprised you prepared them without fucking ripping something.
Aren't we all? Anyway, look, it's fair to say that Simon is not a favourite on social media right now. Social media tonight was quite keen to see Simon go.
Yeah.
And that's not us commenting on that, although we've had our say on the fact that he was quite a dick in that other challenge.
Behaves
and
like
again, people can sit there and go, but we can only comment on what we see.
Exactly. We don't know the context.
The editing might be completely out of context. There might be a justification for what happened. We didn't see it. So we can only comment on what we see.
And why did the editors choose to keep that in?
That's 100%. There's a choice that's been made there. Anushka, who the night before had talked about the fact that Maggie Beer had basically taught her English. There's many things I'd trust Maggie Beer to do, by the way.
Yeah.
Teach English, not necessarily one of them.
I don't know. You'd be very
Verjuice is not something that you say every day.
If you're watching Bake Off and stuff.
However, Anushka made sure there was verjuice in hers.
What
Anushka made is basically what I referred to as a Maggie Beer catnip dessert.
Had wattle seed,
lemon myrtle ice cream, fig, verjuice. Just tick, 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 tick. All of the Maggie Beer
Guess
flavours.
what wasn't in there, Tati? No fucking chili.
No chili.
No chili.
Now, Abby served pork and it was very under.
It was still going... So I had to think what a pig sounded like because I was about to do a guinea pig sound.
Oh, Kermie, I love you so much. Christina made what she called peaches and pastry, which didn't really sound that appealing. It sounded more like a 90 indies band. But
Peaches side bed. And she's not cartwheeling naked.
And then the way they talked about the idea,
motherfucker on a motorcycle.
and then the way that they talked about the way they talked about the dish being under was the pastry's under. Gary's pulling it apart. And they just made it sound like, but the way that they said Gary's pulling it apart, it made it sound like Gary's like a 3-year-old on the floor going, yeah, pulling apart the pastry. Tati, as we know, nearly killed Maggie Beer. But we have said, and we commented, we legitimately had no idea this was coming up. On the podcast the other night with Robert, when we were talking about George nearly dying of spice.
Yeah.
And we said, when Maggie Beer has spice, she is also very fair when judging it, even though she can't stand it. And Maggie nearly died, turned around, came back and said, that was brilliant.
Yep, those prawns were cooked beautifully. I'm sorry I can't enjoy it. Like, she was apologising to Tati.
I can't enjoy this and that's my loss. And that's what she said, it's my loss. Larissa. I like this simply because I got to write the phrase, Larissa came the raw prawn. So,
careful! Too many colloquialisms and you'll turn into a T-bone.
Can I point out, by the way,
bobbing your head.
Can I point out, by the way, I really appreciated the way that Maggie tried to save Larissa too.
Yeah.
Can I just say that sashimi prawns are my favourite way to eat prawns? And then they went, the next one's under 2. This one's under 2. And Maggie's trying so hard.
Yeah, but aren't they delicious, gentlemen? And they're like, nah.
No, Maggie, we're not doing this. Yeah. We're not doing this. So that sent Larissa, that sent Christina, and that sent Abby into the elimination round.
Round 2, spice.
So the spice must flow.
Na 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 na. When you're feeling
I'm not going to join you.
Sad and lonely.
I'm not going to join you. I can resist it. Where you want to go, I can resist it.
Smiling, dancing, everything is free. All you need is positivity. Colours of the world.
Spice up your life.
Every boy and every girl.
Spice up your life.
People of the world.
Spice up your life.
Summer to the left.
If you're having a good time.
Shake it to the right.
If you wanted to feel fine.
Stick it to the front.
Go round.
Yeah.
Heart, see, yeah, hold tight. So
Thank you.
Christina made mussels with a turmeric flatbread.
And my opinion of her went up when I think it was Tessa and Nicole revealed that she also wanted to be a Spice Girl.
There was lots of that. Who was your favourite Spice Girl?
Mine was Ginger. I wonder who... Yours is definitely Sporty because you're like, she's the only one that can see.
She is, and also she was a Liverpool fan, so double whammy.
Okay.
So, yeah, look, Christina's cook was much of a muchness. At one point, they tried to make it look like she was in trouble, and I went, oh, it might be Christine. No, she's fine. She
went into a zone when she said, I cook this at home. I don't know why I haven't pulled it out before. I'm going to pull it out tonight. I'm like, oh.
And then they made it quite plain.
Bitch has got this.
And then they made it quite plain that Larissa was in trouble. Now, Larissa decided to make an ice cream and then made a fatal mistake in that she tried to put it in the blast chiller and she couldn't work out why it wasn't freezing. Now, as you pointed out...
Oh, it's in a bowl! Put it in a fucking tray!
You put it in a tray, there's less area to actually freeze, it cools faster and it freezes faster.
Yeah. Ta-da!
We know this.
Yeah.
Everyone watching at home knows this because, we've seen enough blast chillers in our time.
But we've never been at a pressure test, so... Sorry, Larissa.
Yeah, look.
You probably just didn't...
Look, we know...
Or maybe Abby had, commandeered all the fucking equipment in the kitchen.
Maybe every blast chiller, of the good ones, were behind Abby's bench.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm making an ice cream, but I might want to. So...
I don't know if I need this tray, but I'm going to take all of them just in case.
I might need another one. Anyway, It's mine. Anyway,
Beautiful, it's mine.
So we got to... Look, we've got to talk to Abby. We've got to talk about Abby. So, Abby... They started with the storyline of Abby's in trouble. I'm like, the edit always works out where, no, she's not in trouble. She's going to rescue this. And she decided to Asian flavours it, sure.
Maybe from the Caucasus Islands, because she's Caucasian.
Then she went with, then she went with the idea of salt and pepper calamari.
Oh, that's what I need to... Was it... Last night, I think Tim and Derek were talking about all they need is some salt and pepper. And I'm like, yeah, me too, boys, me too.
So we had a situation where Abby she didn't look right the whole night. Abby has been off all week. I feel really bad for her. She was the wheels were spinning a bit. Now, I know that Twitter was sort of... They were happy that Abby went. I'm not going to lie. Twitter was happy Abby went. And look, I'm not going to lie.
We're happy too.
I'm kind of happy.
We only need one narrator in this MasterChef gantry.
But it's not because Abby doesn't have the ability. On the contrary, we think she 100% does. The way that her presentation came across, it was very fig jam. I saw a couple of people on Twitter refer to it as very fig jam.
Yep, absolutely.
And she even said tonight that she can be a bit full on. And we saw that.
Yep, that definitely came across.
It came across. There were a couple. Nigella Week came across stalkerish. Mm-hmm. Maggie Beer came across stalkerish. I will come to you at night time. It felt a little bit like... I actually put out a theory there at one point where I turned around to you and I went, did Abby throw the challenge last night?
So she cooked
for Maggie Beer again. Remember in Nigella Week where she made sure she cooked for Nigella as much as possible. And it was quite apparent then from tonight's challenge, no, she just had a bad night. She had a bad week. And look, I feel bad for her having that bad week. But she was presented in such a way to the audience. Yeah. You always have those people at the start, and Tim was one of those. I mean, he got back in, obviously, on the second chance cook. They always present a couple of people at the top who are very strong.
Yep.
Who are not making it to the end. No. They are designed to burn fast.
Yep.
Abby was the one. And
they're magnesium. Bright and fast.
It felt like Abby was Abby and Tim felt like they were both that. Mm-hmm. Tim was that, and then they brought him back.
Yep.
They buffied him. They brought him back from the dead. They pulled him out of heaven.
He's just been walking around the mosque. It was so wonderful.
I was in Stephanie Alexander's garden.
I was sleeping a full 8 hours a night. I was able to actually sit on a seat for most of the day rather than having to stand on a gantry.
Nobody was yelling push, push, push. Yeah. I didn't have to nod.
I wasn't getting like tweezed by George, coated in his sweat.
Oh, the tweezing tonight was weird.
Oh,
even
that was
George's
strange.
The tweezing tonight was weird.
He's become Dr. Claw, Dr. Tweeze. Gary's his cat. Fucking there with his tweezer. Next time, catch it.
Matt Preston's brain. So
strikes me more as a penny.
We look, mingling in Canadian Bake Off can't do it all alone. It's franchised out now. Different countries have franchised the Inspector Gadgeting. But we've got... Look, Abby had a very bad cook. Typified by the fact that she did the salt and pepper calamari and then threw it back in a pan at the end and covered it in more oil.
Yeah.
Which just soaked it through and didn't do anything with the spices to make them work.
No.
And so there was no flavour, there was no spice. It got soggy, it got oily. It didn't look very appealing.
No.
I kind of feel like... if you're someone like an Abby who's obviously got that very intense personality, that situation is not a situation for you. Masterchef is not the place to be.
Yeah, she's not...
When you've got 24 there, it works. When you've got 12 there, no.
I'm worried that she's gone into this thing... probably loving MasterChef and stuff, and it's going to leave a very bad taste in her mouth.
I hope it doesn't for her sake.
Yeah. I'm also feeling compassionate for Larissa, when she said, they're studying, blah, 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 and obviously it's not an environment that she's thriving in, which is...
But I got the impression that neither of them, because they talked about the fact they're rooming together and they're both studying, but it wasn't enough. So it feels like they were both just in the room going, we're not keeping up here.
Yeah.
And that maybe... I got the impression from Larissa's comments that they're both drowning a little bit. Yeah. And, Abby's showing it more outwardly, and Larissa's got enough to just... Because we didn't mention that, Larissa made a change. When the ice cream didn't set, she swapped over.
Adapted, yep. I'll make a custard.
She adapted. What she did was a decent effort.
And when Christina said, I'm in the bottom three with Abby and Larissa, two of the best cooks in the MasterChef kitchen, she goes, particularly Larissa, who's one of the best cooks. It's obviously that Larissa's got skill, and we saw that she had a passion and stuff before, but yeah, just I hope she picks up again.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
So I think it's probably a good thing for Abby, and it's going to sound weird to say that it's a good thing to go home, but I actually think it's a good thing for her to get out of that environment and get herself away from it, go and do some work in some actual kitchens, which I talked about, and go and work out what it is she wants to do.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about doing it with commentary and bits to camera. Because I actually think the commentary and bits to camera hurt her. I think they were the thing that hurt her. I think if they just let her cook, I actually think the audience might have warmed a bit more. I just think that making her do that much to camera, not a good thing. So Abby goes home. Now the end of
after the copious tweezers.
The end of the episode, we need
Tweeze on cake.
We need to talk about.
If he tweezed on the custard.
And we need to talk about the very end of the episode.
Do you think he tweezed Maggie Beer into her seat?
I hope not. For the benefit of mankind, otherwise we will have to finish him.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Sorry, I'm getting...
So at the end of the episode, while we were trying to focus on what was happening to go home, Twitter was engulfed in a mini controversy.
Oh, controversial.
Controversial. Everybody on the hashtag knows what we're talking about. There's a gentleman going around copying everyone's tweets word for word and pasting them. And it's the most ridiculous thing ever. I mean, Robert Harwood was very happy because he corrected his grammar when he did it. So Robert put a couple of typos in his one. So this guy copied and pasted Robert's tweet and took the grammar errors out and fixed it up and then tweeted it to Masterchef as his own so he'd get retweeted. Now...
That's a special kind of...
As we sort of all called him out on it, he started blocking everybody on Twitter who was calling him out for copying tweets.
Well, I'm not blocked, so I can keep an eye on it.
You can keep a bit of an eye on it because, like, I'm now blocked on 2 accounts. I have a number more I can go after him on, but...
What's his name again?
So, I don't know if I want to give him
let's not
the
give him
publicity, but if you've got a guy who starts copying, and he's not retweeting them, he's copying them and pasting them as his own.
Yeah.
If that happens, block him.
Yeah.
And my reason for blocking him is he will block you, but if he blocks you, he can still see your tweets.
Yeah.
You can no longer see that he's stealing your tweets. So block him so he can't steal your tweets. Mm-hmm. Simple. I've reported him, and it's what sort of level of piracy do we have to be at to be an internet tweet pirate? And we were having this discussion online.
I'm a little pirate.
We were having this...
Little Twitter pirate.
We were having this...
I sail those wild Twitter seas.
We were having this...
Retweet. No. Copy and tweets.
We were having this discussion tonight.
Jolly Roger on my head.
And we were like trying to work
Fiddle-dee, I'm a pirate.
Why fiddle-dee-dee?
Yo ho ho and I copy your tweets.
Why fiddle-dee-dee?
Why not?
Which pirate is a fiddle-dee-dee?
A Twitter pirate goes, I'm going to make you walk the characters.
Why?
Look, we've just discovered Twitter pirates, and now
you've given them a language of their own.
They're a new species. It's all new. We just have to keep an eye on them, see what they do.
Fiddle-dee-dee.
They say fiddle-dee-dee quite a lot, as well as buttermy toast.
Do they say it, or do they wait for somebody else on Twitter to say it and copy it?
Quite frankly, I think it's a bit of column A, bit of column B.
But some of the tweets that got copied, some of the tweets that got copied were amazing. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Robert had his one stolen, and that was hilarious. The better one was at one point, good friend of the show, Lisa Romano tweeted at turmeric crumpets, did you say? And about 2 minutes later, he copied and pasted turmeric crumpets. That had no context. Like,
do you think he wants to show up in like Twitter moments or something? He's been tweeting for weeks.
But what he's doing,
or she's been tweeting.
No, it's a he.
It's a he.
And then what he does is he deletes all the tweets, so there's nothing on his account again. And then the next night he does it all again. Oh, it's brilliant.
It's the life of he buries them. He goes and buries his tweets. He doesn't delete them. He buries them and marks them with an X.
And just to
on the Twitter island.
And just to leave it off because
under an egg.
Because I am that sort of person. And I will take the fucking D. I will take those sorts of shots at people. I just want to point out he's a Manchester United fan. That explains it all. Anyway,
butter me toast.
Butter me toast, indeed. Butter me toast. So that's kind of where we're going to leave it this week before you break out a whole pile of other Irish stereotypes to talk about Twitter pirates. I don't.
I need to come up with Twitter sea shanties.
Oh, shit. If you've got a Twitter sea shanty, please tweet them.
And maybe he'll steal them and sing them.
Exactly. Now, I do
We need
hope...
to feed the pirate.
Now, I'm disappointed that the only tweet, of course, because I blocked him, but the only tweet that he couldn't copy and paste was the one where I went, the washing up starts now. So that would have been good publicity for us for him to copy and paste that one.
Thinking, Buchanan.
I know, I need to do that later on. Anyway, until next week, when Heston, we have Heston.
Woo.
He's going to
Heston.
make desserty
Sweets.
delights. I hope they have to make a replica of the Masterchef kitchen in marzipan.
My thought was that he just says, take my shoes and make the odour into a sweet.
No, that's if he's going to make that into it. That'll be a drink to go with it.
Delightful.
Shoeies. They're already
Shoeies.
shoeies. Anyway,
Heston shoeies.
until
The Heston shoeies.
on Monday night, I'm still Chris.
And I'm still Kristie.
We'll catch you all then.
It's beautiful like me.